Alright guys, how's it going? I am the Crown Clown, and today we are doing What If Deku was Superman, the final. So, this is going to be the middle video you guys should be getting today. And, yeah, this is it. This is the final end. I know you guys asked me if I could do more, but I mean, it's Superman. What do you expect? But, if you guys can get this video to... I'll give you guys a ridiculously high number to get to. If you get this video to 130 likes before the end of the day, I'll do 2 extra Superman episodes at a later date covering the incidents of the movies. So, how's that? Now then, with that out of the way, I'm the Crown Clown, and as always, if you guys like this content, I would appreciate it if you left me a like, comment, subscribe, and also, if you guys get me to 3K for the end of the month, there's going to be a good 3K special coming out. So, I mean, we're over halfway there. Let's get it. But, as always, let's start off with a little recap. So, where we last left off, I know I made an inconsistency in the story saying Deku didn't have his, ice breath when he actually did. So, okay, that's kind of rectified. But, anyways. Where last left off, Deku beat Muscular. He took out Dabi as basically Todoroki, who became the Green Lantern, and Melissa, who unlocked Float, handled the other villains that were around. Meaning, none of the villains got away. Meaning, Bakugo never gets captured, and that means the whole deal with All For One and All Might, well, it's not going to happen immediately, but it's still going to happen, because that's the ending of this thing. So, anyways, let's jump right on into what would actually happen. So, we're going to start with Shigaraki. Seeing as how he just lost all his pawns, every single one, he doesn't even have a second-hand single follower. All For One decides it's time to bring in some big muscle. It's time to resurrect an old enemy from the past, but to do that, he's gonna need one hell of a team to successfully acquire something from the Fortress of Solitude. And, well, he hires none other than Nine. Yep, he hires Nine, Slice, Chimera, and Mummy to go into the, Fortress of Solitude and go into the, Phantom Zone and recruit Cyborg Superman. And of course, it's not really gonna be that easy. I mean, Power Girl's living there. But hey, they're supplied transportation, so they actually end up going. After all, the payout is huge. And who better to usher in a superpowered society where strength is all that matters than Cyborg Superman? The man who literally beat the other Superman nearly to death. As Nine actually thinks this is a bit of a wild goose chase because Superman, let alone a cyborg Superman, hasn't been seen in centuries. Even if he is in this Phantom Zone, whatever nonsense that is, it's not like he's gonna be at 100%. Or even alive. Little do they know, actually. So, they actually end up getting there, and Power Girl's not there since she's checking up on Supergirl, aka Superwoman now, Melissa. So nobody's actually there besides the robots, and Nine, Chimera, Slice, and Mummy actually make quick work of them. They get to the Phantom Zone, and they actually open it up, and the first person to actually step out is Cyborg Superman. He's been waiting for centuries to get out. As they ask, "Are you Cyborg Superman?" As he says, "What's it look like?" Half his face, half of his body actually, is robotic. And he has that S on his chest. As Nine says, well, looks like a yes. And basically, Nine actually says mission complete as they escort Cyborg Superman back to All for One. And with this, Nine actually volunteers for the procedure, setting up the, events of the movie. But we're not talking about the movie. We're talking about here and now. And hearing that there's a new Superman in town, especially one that's not even a full Kryptonian, along with Power Girl, a weakened Justice League, it's all just too good for Cyborg Superman. However, he decides he wants to take it a step further. All these Nomu that's around here, yeah, he wants to do something else with them. And he decides it's time to get some new recruits. As he starts implementing cyberware into the Nomu procedures, making them cyber Nomu. He actually also goes and meets with the Liberation Army, and, well, Redestro kinda defies him. Cyborg Superman uses his heat vision and just melts Redestro's face, killing him. Recruiting the Meta Liberation Army, he escorts them back to All for One, who is very happy because he's promised Cyborg Superman the world in exchange for helping him out, but he's not really going to keep his promise. Well, he's not going to intend to. And basically, All for One goes and recruits Gigato Machia, telling him it's time. As Gigato Machia would say, "I'm ready, Master." As basically, the villains are all set. The stage, everything. And Cyborg Superman is ready to make his appearance once more. As the news is going on regularly, Deku, Melissa, they're chilling at home. And, they're actually making out on the couch. All Might's literally just telling them, you could do that in your room. And Deku says, what? No, Todoroki's in there. Because, Todoroki's packing up his stuff and getting ready to go back home with his mother. Since Endeavor's in jail, then, his mother needs him there. And Deku would finally get his room back, although he didn't mind sharing it with Todoroki to begin with. As the news comes on, and Deku says, "Who's that?" All Might says, "I don't know." Todoroki says he doesn't know either. The man says, "My name is Superman, the real Superman. As you guys may know, there's this new imposter running around calling himself me. I will not take that, and the heroes of this world have fallen further out of control than anything. I'm here to put things back on track, the right way. And with me, I've recruited a member of the elite, Manchester Black, and he's here to ensure that things go correctly. Heroes all over the world, your time is limited. The villains you have oppressed, the ones that you have chosen to deny, to claim and stick to your power and authority, they will have their vengeance. This is non-negotiable. This is the new way forward. You can either fall in, or I'll force you to. It's your choice. Just know, I'm the original, and I want my spot back." As he would cut off the newsfeed, the world would go into hysteria. The real Superman's back. That phony should just give up. After all, didn't he almost kill people? They're right, the heroes are just trying to keep their status in elite and all of that. As they say, Manchester Black? That's a name we haven't heard since, well, Superman. As Manchester Black would say, I appreciate you resurrecting me and all. A dip in that Lazarus pit did me some good. However, I'm a bit shaky at the moment. Being dead and brought back, drives the old mind crazy. As Cyborg Superman says, can you use your power? Yes or no? As Manchester Black said, yeah. The old Superman, the real one, when he gave me a lobotomy, well, when you dipped me back in that Lazarus thingy, it undid everything he did to me, brought me back to my full power. So, I'm good. As Cyborg Superman would tell him, good. As All For One would tell him, it's rare for someone to be powered not by a quirk these days. His power is quite extraordinary. If it had been a quirk, he would have stolen it by now. As Manchester Black said, yeah, well, it's not, so keep your grubby mitts to yourself. As All For One says, of course. And actually, they would begin their march, tearing down the cities, marching through the streets, telling everyone to get inside or else they'll be hurt. The streets are barren. Japan's downtown, it's a nightmare. They're marching straight towards UA High School as Deku stands there in his Superman attire, backed up by Damian Wayne, Power Girl, Wallace, Superwoman, and Green Lantern Todoroki, along with All Might, and even, well, Endeavor. He was given a leave to try and help combat the threat of all of the villains. However, it will not undo his sentencing, but it will shave some time off. He's part of a old program now called the Suicide Squad. As Deku realizes his dad's among them. As Hisashi Midoriya says, my boy, I made you. Surely you won't turn your back on your old man now. Right? I gave you those powers. I did everything I could to give it to you. Please, come back to me. Let me and you be a family. Stay away from that whore mother of yours. Come on, tell me, please. As he shines kryptonite right at Deku. Deku falls to the ground, and Cyborg Superman says, hurts, doesn't it? Luckily for me, I'm immune. And the news copters, they're all out there. Deku takes this chance to say, if you're immune to kryptonite, that means you're not the real Superman. As everyone says, that's right. As even Power Girl falls down and says, he's right. Anyone who's immune to the kryptonite isn't actually Superman. It can't be. As Cyborg Superman says, damn it, no. You've undone everything, you fool. As All Might doesn't wait. As soon as he sees an opening, he charges right at Hisashi, telling him, you will never speak of her like that again, as he hits him with a full Delaware smash. Cracking in to Hisashi, he doesn't even care about All For One right now. He just wants to put Hisashi down, as Hisashi uses his fire breath quirk, and basically All Might tells him, that won't save you, as All Might keeps slamming into him with smash after smash. However, All For One, he's not wanting to wait. He's wanted to kill All Might for a while, and it's about time that he does. Right here, right now, All Might's about to meet his end. When Melissa jumps in, saving All Might, as they say, together, and All Might smiles and says, together. As basically Melissa would take over and start beating into Hisashi, telling him that he has no right to claim that Deku's mother's a whore whenever he changed his own DNA. He's the reason why all this is happening. As Hisashi would say, I wanted Superman back, but now that the real one's here, we don't need my son to be Superman. Just let the old man have his throne back. Let him be the strongest again, please. We need Superman. As Melissa says, you've gone insane. As she charges up as much power as she can. And she says, United States of Smash, 1,000,000%. As she hits Hisashi and he goes flying. The recoil damages her arm, breaking it as she cries out in pain. Meanwhile, Manchester Black is having a field day with Deku, tearing away at his mind, just ripping into him and telling him, you know, the old Superman wasn't really all that affected by my powers. You, on the other hand, it's like a bloody field day. Come on, aren't you gonna fight back? As he blasts Deku with his powers, hammering him into the ground as Deku cries out in pain and agony. As Todoroki slams Manchester Black with a construct, sending him flying. Deku says, thanks, but I got this. Todoroki says, not by yourself. He knows your weakness. He's gonna keep feeding into it. And Deku says, yeah, well, wouldn't be Superman if I didn't overcome insurmountable odds. As Damien says, no, you stay back. Manchester Black's mine. He's the reason Damien became a killer. Because Manchester Black's been revived before. Oh yes, his power was restored once before. And he's the reason Jonathan Kent died. As Damien is only fueled by vengeance. He rushes towards Manchester Black. And he gets to him before he even gets up. He starts beating into him, saying, I killed you once before, I will kill you again. As he starts beating into him, time after time. But this time, Manchester Black's ready for him. He uses his powers and he sends Damien rocketing into the air. As Damien's just realizing, there's nothing to grapple onto up here. And that's when Cyborg Superman flies up there and hammers Damien right in the stomach, shattering his bat suit, killing Damien. As Damien's blood starts pouring out of his mouth, he decides to do one final thing. He takes out an explosive batarang as he stabs it into Cyborg Superman. As Cyborg Superman tells him, this won't kill me. But you, on the other hand, as Damien smiles and says, I'll see you in hell. As the explosive batarang goes off, blowing up Damien and Cyborg Superman. But when the smoke clears, Damien's body hits the ground. It's clear Cyborg Superman is still unaffected. With tears in her eyes, Power Girl charges right towards Cyborg Superman, slamming her fist into him as Deku, enraged, just flies straight towards Manchester Black. As Manchester uses his powers on him again, hitting him with his psionic energy, as Deku just marches through it, putting one foot down at a time, marching through. His ears are bleeding. He's in a lot of pain, but he doesn't care as he shoots his heat vision right at Manchester. As Manchester's having a hard time blocking it because Deku's pissed. He doesn't care anymore. He keeps on marching and marching and marching until he's right on top of him, He grabs his hands as he breaks Manchester's arms and keeps doing the heat vision. As Manchester says, "Stop. You don't do this, right? You're Superman. You can't kill me." As Deku just grabs him by the throat as he lifts him into the air and says, "You don't know me very well, do you?" As Manchester Black's eyes flash with fear, Melissa calls out saying, "Don't." Deku, realizing what he was about to do, flies down, puts Manchester down, and before Manchester can say another word, Deku hits him with the almighty bitch slap, sending him skyrocketing into the building and straight through it, as Manchester Black lies there, unconscious. Meanwhile, Melissa and Todoroki are dealing with a large majority of the fodder characters for the, Meta Liberation Front. And actually, they're doing pretty okay. The only one who's actually really struggling is Power Girl against Cyborg Superman. And Deku's had enough of him. He just killed Damien. So, he marches and launches himself right at him, hammering into Cyborg Superman's back as Power Girl hits him in the face. As they both unleash their heat vision, Deku blasting him so hard he burns away the cape. As they decide it's time to take it into orbit. They don't want to cause any more property damage, and up there they can really cut loose. So they go into space as Cyborg Superman slams Power Girl down, as Deku grabs him by the arm and throws him to the moon, shooting his heat vision and blasting him clean to the moon's surface, pinning him down. And that's when Power Girl, who regained herself and was charging straight towards Cyborg Superman, hit him square through the moon, right through it, center of gravity and all, until they come out the other side. As she throws him back and hits him with her heat vision, sending him flying right back through the moon. Deku would grab him and just heat vision his face. As Cyborg Superman says enough, he would punch Deku so hard Deku would be throwing up in space. As he would try to regain his breath, he wouldn't have time, as Cyborg Superman would grab him, throw him to the moon, and just beat him senselessly, holding him with one hand and beating with his metal one straight through the moon. He gets halfway before Power Girl charges at him, grabbing Cyborg Superman and throwing him off. However, he's not going to be defeated like this. He refuses, as he grabs Power Girl and throws her straight down to Earth, charging her, entering the atmosphere like a comet, as he's about to hit Japan, before Deku intercepts and knocks them off course. Not caring about his own well-being or anything, they charge and they hit straight into an unpopulated area of Japan. The crater is immense, as the park they landed in completely destroyed. As Deku gets up, he's feeling a little bit weak. He's never had to fight this hard before, but he's not giving up. As Power Girl seems to be down, unconscious, Cyborg Superman gets up and starts beating into Deku. Blood comes spurting out of his mouth. It's being showcased all over the news. As Deku says, "This isn't gonna keep me down, you know. I'll get right back up, as many times as it takes. 'Cause I'm Superman. You're nothing but a fake imitation. I won't give up this fight. I will fight for truth and justice. You won't beat me. This place is my home. I won't let you turn it into something it's not." As he beats on Cyborg Superman, just as bad, actually hurting him, as Deku's strength has been growing and growing and growing. His potential is actually becoming realized. And it's not long before he's back up to Clark Kent's strength. As him and Cyborg Superman are hitting each other, shockwaves are erupting all throughout the city. Property damage is at an all-time high, and luckily, there's not a whole lot of casualties as every hero in Japan is on the scene, evacuating people and making sure they don't get caught up in the crossfire. As Deku takes the fight to the streets, hitting Cyborg Superman in the face, hitting him with his heat vision, stomping him into the ground. But just when he thinks he's got the upper hand, Cyborg Superman hits him with an uppercut, shooting him with his own heat vision, and slamming him back into the ground and straight through the street and into the sewers. As he ignites a gas line, blowing up the sewers and Deku with it. As Deku comes out, his suit pretty much destroyed. As all Melissa and all that Todoroki and All Might and Endeavor can do is watch. As Gigantomachia is not giving up, and neither is All for One. All Might and Melissa are doing their best as they're fighting, but Melissa's injured arm is hindering her way too much, so Todoroki puts it in a cast for her, and she says thank you. As she begins to fight more, All for One grabs her by the hair, slams her into the ground, and hits her, as he nearly impales her, if not for Todoroki stepping in the way with a construct, blocking the attack. But All for One blows through Todoroki's construct, sending him flying back. As Todoroki hits the ground and says, "How strong is this guy? It's unreal." As the army of Nomu starts flooding the streets, as they think like we didn't have enough to worry about. And that's when Captain Atom arrives, the cavalry, so to speak, as he gets up and starts slamming the Nomus, beating them mercilessly with his power, dropping them all. As everyone's just like, this guy is insane. As All Might and All for One continue their battle, the shockwaves tearing the city apart even more. As the fight keeps going, All Might says as long as his son's fighting, he won't give up. He won't stop fighting for the same ideals that his son fights for. Truth, justice, and the never-ending peace that the future can surely become. As he slams All for One with the rest of his embers of One for All, knocking him clean out. As All for One falls, Gigantomachia's strength weakens as Endeavor's fighting him, but it's not an easy battle. Endeavor's badly hurt, and Todoroki knows this. He has to do something. So, without thinking, he unleashes his flame powers, burning Gigantomachia and hitting him with a construct shovel, knocking him to the ground as Endeavor says, "Thank you. I'll take it from here." As he uses Prominence Burst, burning Gigantomachia back so bad it leaves a permanent burn on him. As Gigantomachia falls, Endeavor passes out from overheating. As Todoroki says, "You're still a piece of shit." And at this time, everyone pretty much is just looking around. The city's almost destroyed. Can they literally say the heroes have won? And Wallace says, "This is bad. They're starting to actually lose faith in us." As him and Captain Atom just finish off the last Nomu. And Todoroki says, "My ring's just about out. I don't have the fight left in me anymore. I'm exhausted." As they say, "You can't give up the fight. John never quit because of his ring. If you're Green Lantern, it's time to prove it." As Todoroki says, "Alright." As All Might tries to march forward to fight Cyborg Superman, knowing he'd die. He can't leave his son to fight by himself. He needs to be there. As Melissa says stop, You're in no condition, and neither am I. As Todoroki and Captain Atom say, leave this to us. And Wallace says, I'm the fastest man alive. I'll help out when I can. As he gets into a running stance, waiting for Cyborg Superman to hit the ground. As Todoroki goes in, as Cyborg Superman's about to land a decisive punch on Deku, he hits him with a hammer, so hard that Cyborg Superman goes flying back. Captain Atom runs up, hits him with an uppercut, and then knocks him down with his fist conjoined, slamming a blow down on his head. As Cyborg Superman barely touches the ground, the Flash is there, and he hits him with a supersonic punch to the arm, tearing through some of his metal, but not completely. As Cyborg Superman says, "Damn it!" as he shoots his heat vision all around, trying to touch the Flash. And that's when Deku hits him square in the face, knocking him straight through the streets, going into the sewers again as he keeps beating on Cyborg Superman and beating him and says, "Stay down, just stay down already," as he can't keep this up for much longer. He's exhausted, he's injured, he has broken bones, his blood is pouring out. He can't keep fighting for too much longer. As Cyborg Superman says, "Never!" and blasts him with his heat vision. As Deku goes flying up, smoke coming off of him as he hits the ground. As he looks up and says, "I won't give up," as he gets back up. And he says, "I'll never quit. You can't beat me." As Captain Atom lands a solid punch on Cyborg Superman. But Cyborg Superman hits Captain Atom in the stomach, piercing his suit. And Captain Atom says, "No, you fool, you'll kill us all." As Captain Atom is forced to rush into space as he explodes, killing him. Deku, feeling the sorrow of losing yet another friend and mentor. He can't keep taking the losses like this. And that's when Cyborg Superman gets a hold of Todoroki. He hits him. Todoroki's shield is cracking. His ring's power levels are going critically low. Deku says, "That's it. I gotta do it." As he flies up, hitting Cyborg Superman in the stomach, racing him towards the outer atmosphere, charging his power. He's got one last attack. This has gotta end it all. This has to be it. As he unleashes a solar flare with all the solar energy he's collected. As he expels it all, Cyborg Superman can't take it. He's torn apart and killed. As Deku falls, depowered, racing towards the ground, Todoroki races up there, catching him, and says, "Deku." He says, Superman. As Deku just says, "I'm still here. I'm still good." As Todoroki says, "Thank you. You saved my life." As they float down, as Deku lands, he can barely stand. Melissa runs over there hugging him and says, "You did good, Superman." As all the citizens start coming out, as they start cheering for Superman, as all the villains are arrested, Cyborg Superman's remains are found, and they're sent into space, somewhere where he could never return. As Power Girl gets up, she realizes that they've lost great. The funerals are being held, as Deku stands there at attention for his two fallen mentors, Batman and Captain Atom. As Tokiyami starts to cry, his mentor, the Batman, is dead. And he receives a message from Damien saying, "Once you complete your training, I've left you a bat suit. Don't let the name of Batman die. You must become the new Dark Knight. As Tokiyami has these tears flowing down his face, he says, I swear, I'll become a better Batman than you ever were, Master. As Deku helps them lower the casket in to the gravesite of Captain Atom and Batman. He stands up there at the podium, being asked to say a few words about the two fallen heroes. He says, Batman, there was a lot about him. He had a good heart, but he often let his emotions get the better of him. But he did everything right. There was nothing that he could have done better. He gave his life protecting this world and fighting for peace, for justice. As he says, the man who sent this world into chaos will no longer hurt anyone else, thanks to the sacrifices of Batman and Captain Atom, who taught me greatly about control, about controlling your power so it doesn't hurt those around you. In the past, I've hurt people. I've done terrible things that nearly killed people. And while I know it wasn't my fault, it's because I couldn't control my power back then. And it's only because of these two amazing people that I was able to control my power now. As he says, I promise to not let their legacies die out, to keep it going. I'm Superman, and I will protect this world, not just Japan, but all nations, as a new member of the Justice League. As he says, I know this isn't the time or place, but still, I would like to welcome the other two newest members of the Justice League up to the stand to say a few words. As Todoroki in his Green Lantern attire and Melissa Shield in her Supergirl suit march up there to the podium. As they say, we promise not to let their legacies go and die out. We, as the new members of the Justice League, will stand by and protect you all. As Superman said, we're here to stay, and we will make sure that all criminals are dealt with. And after that, the funeral ends. They do a few shots for Captain Atom, for Batman, and that's the end of it. They head back to Japan, with Tokiyami as well. As Tokiyami's gotten the bat suit, but he does not dare put it on, not until his training is finished. As Power Girl has taken up training Todoroki, using Damien's old files, she's constructed holographic training modules that mimic Damien in every way. So Todoroki spends most of his time at the Watchtower training against the Batman holograms. But there's still one arc that needs to be covered. Overhaul. As Chisaki watched everything that happened on the news, he realized there's no place that's safe. And with Deku being out on patrol a lot more now as a full-fledged member of the Justice League, he's actually focusing more on his super hearing. And he would actually be able to hear things, as being in the loop about Overhaul as the last main threat of villainy, he would be out searching for him. But not just him, Green Lantern too. As Deku would hear Yakuza members talking, he would radio in to the League that he's picked something up. Melissa flies over to him, as Todoroki does as well, and they say, Where at? Deku points, and they follow. As he follows the men and lead him straight to Overhaul's base. He would call in to All Might and say we found him, as All Might would radio in to the police and to other heroes, saying the Justice League has found Chisaki. We need to move in immediately. As they would. And, well, they would go marching in, as Deku would break down the doors as he would fly straight, knocking out like a good majority of everyone. The wall guy would not be a problem, as Deku could just use his X-ray vision and just break through everything. And Rampa, not even a contest. Melissa would take easy work on him. As for the shield guy, she'd do that too. Those three crazies, Todoroki got him. As Deku gets down there to where Chisaki is and he sees that little girl, well, let's just say Chisaki would not be able to even land a finger on Deku. As Overhaul would be beaten and hauled off to jail, Eri would actually be treated and cared for a lot more carefully than just being put in a hospital and sent to UA. No. With the Justice League there, they can actually offer her better care and could actually use some of their contacts to wipe away the memories from Overhaul. Meaning Eri would actually be a lot happier, because she wouldn't remember anything that she went through. And I can actually see that All Might would adopt Eri. And Inko, seeing it as finally having a daughter, would not object. So Eri would become a Midoriya and Deku's little sister. And with that, that's the end. Every plot hole, every little thread tied together and done. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. And remember, if you get me to 130 likes, I'll do 2 more episodes covering the movies. So, as always, I'm the Crown Clown. I hope to see you guys again later.